I'm Stuart Pidlow, the most targeted citizen. Hope you're well. A little fuzzy on the screen. This camera has a terrible camera. Anyway, do a little breakfast talk this morning. This phone has to stand up. It won't let me do a live stream sideways, which sucks. Bacon. I'm not doing liver much this morning. I'm more of a pig fan. Hope you guys are doing good. My video the other day was a little short. The video where I notated that prayer still works. Prayer still works, by the way, if you didn't know. The prayer that was answered, if you guys get in here, let me know. Hit the comments. Let me know you're in here. Let me know how many people are in it, because it never shows me how many people are here. One day it's 20 people on the comment section, and another day it's 3,000. Isn't that strange? What's up, Miss Gabby? So, as I was driving up the mountain the other day, I told you guys, let's everybody pray for my ex-wife. Not because I have any feelings for my ex-wife, but because she's the mother of my children. And it would devastate my children, and it is devastating my daughters that their mother has been a drug addict for so many years. Since I put her out of the house, she was a drug addict in the house. I was just so naive that I didn't believe that this is how good of a manipulator and liar she is. I didn't know she was strung out on dope, but she was. And the amount of dope that she's done is, I don't think it's really the amount, it's the consistency and the variety of drugs that she has ingested. She always liked downers, Xanaxes. She always had a lot of kidney trouble, kidney stones and all, and that's because her body's trying to flush out the bad stuff she was putting in her body. So it was Xanax, it was meth, all kinds of bad drugs. Never was much of a drinker that I knew of. But she liked that, she liked the downer. She liked being, and it got so bad the last several years that my daughter would invite her to the house and she'd just be nodding out. Just nodding out. And that's terrible for a, man, there's no way, I don't know. I could not be that way in front of my children. I mean, I'm not going to be that way anyway, but to be that way in front of your kids, man, that's crazy. So, as you remember, the prayer I had was for God to either put her in jail or get her in rehab or just let her go. Let her go. Now, that's a harsh prayer to say, but we need to remember that we don't run anything here. God is in control. Period. He's going to do what He wants to do no matter what. But He loves to please His children. He loves to be good to His children. And He answers prayers. Within an hour and a half. Within an hour and a half of my prayer and you guys' prayers asking to be praying for her, she was arrested. An hour and a half, she was arrested. My prayer riding up the mountain, Lord, please have her arrested, get her help, Lord, whatever it takes to help this situation or speed it up so it ends quickly. Within an hour and a half at 3 o'clock, she was in the Catawba County Sheriff's. Tell me that ain't amazing. This is a woman who, when I was married and my oldest daughter was like 4, took my oldest daughter to Belk's in the mall and was caught shoving jewelry down her underwear. Caught shoving jewelry down my daughter's underwear. And you know what the court said when she showed up for court? She gets in front of a judge and she said, "Oh, I'm taking a new medicine and it made me steal. I'm sorry." And then tears trickled. And the court said, "Oh, poor you. Just check with your doctor and try not to steal again." The system is so flawed when it comes to men and women Just like a man's rights. A man has no rights to his children. As I've told you before, the judge fired my attorney when I was fighting for custody. Yet the state hired her an attorney to fight me. Just like in the battles of custody, they hired her an attorney to beat my ass in court. Here I am, a judge wouldn't even let me have an attorney. And the reason the judge didn't let me have an attorney is because I missed the court date. Why did I miss the court date? While I'm out working, she's riding by my house and taking the subpoenas out of the mailbox, breaking it, because I lived out in the country, breaking into my house and deleting the phone messages from the lawyer off my answering machine. My shoulder is, I don't know if you can see my shoulder today, see how far down it is? It is dislocated. My shoulder dislocated in my sleep, and it is in bad pain. So this woman has literally gotten away with murder, I would say. I can't imagine all the things that she's been in over the years. So she was arrested for possession of a Schedule II, and that's meth and fentanyl and paraphernalia. So when she gets busted, she has to make up a story to lie because she is a non-stop pathological liar. So she tells her sister who bailed her out, and me and my daughters both told her sister, do not bail her out. Do not bail her out. Jail for 30 days may be the only thing that can save her life. And she bailed her out anyway. So she told her sister that the cops pulled her over, just luckily, just out of the blue. They pulled her over and they found a wrapper in the floor. And that wrapper, that piece of plastic paper, you know, a baggie, that plastic piece had sugar on it. And they arrested her because they caught her with sugar. These are the lies that this woman tells. Sugar. You don't go to jail for sugar. And remember, she normally gets away with everything. So her sister goes and bails her out, and then the sheriff tells her when she makes bond, hey, come talk to us tomorrow. We want to work something out with you. So you know what that conversation was. She signed a contract with the Catawba County Sheriff's Office to be a snitch. Now, if you recall my conversation with you, I told you that she is a rabbit. What's a rabbit? A rabbit, that's the name of gang stalkers that follow targeted individuals. So all you people that don't think the program exists, it's real. They admit it, and there are plenty of videos all over America where people admit it. I think that was a warning from YouTube. They may not let me post again. Wow, that's great. They'll probably shut my channel down again. If the channel gets shut down, guys, just know I'll open up Targeted Citizen 4. Look for me, you'll find me. What on there could I possibly say besides truth? Because if I was just a crazy person, they wouldn't silence me, would they? So she signs a contract with the sheriff's department to be a snitch. So they had a big discussion. My daughter had the aunt, my ex-wife's sister, and her husband who bailed her out, who shouldn't have left her alone. The night she gets out of jail, she's in at her sister's house. Her sister is a recovering addict. She's in her sister's trash can, digging in the trash can, trying to find a bag that she left or dropped or lost. In other words, she's fiending, trying to get a hold of something. Going through DTs, detoxing. So while she's at my daughter's house 2 days later to decide the future, she's laying in the floor, jerking and going through convulsions and detox. So she's like, I'm going to die. She's trying to get her dopehead buddies to come pick her up, and my daughter wasn't going for that. You ain't bringing a bunch of dopeheads to her house. So my daughter calls EMS over there, and the EMS, of course, shows up with the police department or the sheriff of the county my daughter lives in. So the cops are in the house, and they got their flashlights looking everywhere because when my daughter's name and address pops up, of course, it pops up my name too because it's all affiliated. They know who you are related to. They know who you were in contact with at all times. So they were all flashlighting, trying to say that my ex-wife OD'd at my daughter's house, trying to get a case like they always do. My daughter said that the EMS first responders were rude. They wouldn't even help pick her up at the floor. They wouldn't do anything. They said that my daughter and my ex-wife's sister had to pick her up and put her in an ambulance because the EMTs wouldn't do nothing. So they were sitting there laughing at her, making fun of her. Well, you're not overdosing. This is what happens. You go through withdrawals. This is what happens. So they were being assholes to her. Forgive me, Lord. So they took her to the hospital. While in the hospital, my daughter's aunt, she's calling around trying to find rehab programs. Now, there are rehab programs everywhere. You can go to Catawba Memorial's got one on the 7th floor. You got Glen R. Fry over here. It's called South Campus is where they have their drug and alcohol. I used to go in there and teach drug and alcohol classes at the South Campus back in my 30s. I did that to pick up chicks. Wasn't that cool? Just kidding. But she thought she had her a program set up where she could go down, and they'll take you into these places. That's why I didn't understand. Why are you trying to do all this when all you got to do is take her up there and commit her and say she's dangerous to herself? And as long as you say that she's dangerous to herself, because if you've already overdosed many times and you're still doing drugs, that means you're dangerous to yourself. So they would have taken her and kept her in there for as long as it took. But no one listens to me. So I had a conversation with the ex-wife, and she's like, oh, please help me, talking to me. And I told my daughter, I don't want to talk to her. I want to do it. My daughter's like, Daddy, please help her. Please, she's my mom. I love her. Please help her, Dad. And I'll do anything my daughter's asked me to do. I will. I'll die for them, and I'll kill for them. So my ex-wife's on the phone. What am I supposed to do? I said, well, sounds like you're supposed to go to jail. You're supposed to go to jail. That's what you're supposed to do. You did bad things, and you've done bad things for a very long time, and you're supposed to go to jail. I said, the number one thing is, you got a court date. What you need to do is you need to lock your house up, kick everybody out of that dope house, because it's a dope house. You kick everybody out. You end that fantasy. Take the tag off your car, cancel your cell phone, and go put your ass in rehab for 30 days. Stay in rehab until the day before court. That way, when you go up to court, you can tell the judge that it's considered a mitigating factor, that you're trying to help yourself, that you're trying to better yourself, and you realize that you have made a huge mistake. Mitigating factor. So, of course, you wanted to put that off, didn't want to do that, didn't want to listen. So, the next day, and while we're talking, she of course brings up the past. Well, honey, you can move in with me. I love you. Come back and take care of me. I'll get sober for you. I love you. Please don't leave. I said, whoa. I said, we are dead. We are done. Thank you from the Netherlands. Thank you so much. America is screwed. America has been destroyed by our government that wants us drugged, that wants us sick, that wants us to be their slaves, and they want us dead. America is dying, people. So, they take her to the hospital. She still doesn't think that I'm done, even though I've been done from her for a long time. Thank you, Netherlands. While in the hospital, they start to check her out and to find out what the problem is. I'm all out of mayonnaise. I got to use Duke's mayonnaise. I don't like Duke's. It's got too much vinegar. But this is the mayonnaise of Southern people. I'm a Southern guy. I don't do Dookie mayonnaise. But while being checked out, they discover that she has a lot of kidney stones, which she always has. Mayonnaise. It's made with vinegar. We put it on our sandwiches in America, in the South especially. We put it on our sandwiches. It's like a spread. It's not like Miracle Whip or anything like that. It goes on like that. I don't like Dookie mayonnaise because it's got a lot of, it's twangy. It's got vinegar. It's got a vinegar taste to it. But American Southern cuisine is something that you need to experience once in your life. Come here. I'll cook for you. I'll show you how to cook. I'll show you how to eat real food. While doing the examination, they found out she got kidney stones, and she's always had kidney stones. You don't do a bunch of drugs, and you don't take care of yourself and expect your body not to produce big rocks in your kidneys. Also, because of the extended years of drug abuse, she has cirrhosis of the liver. What's my favorite mayo brand? I do JFG. JFG because it's mild and not a lot of... I just don't like... Duke's is just really strong, but Duke's is a southern favorite. JFG is what I do. Works good on bacon and mayonnaise. So, her liver, she has cirrhosis of the liver. She has a large mass on her liver. And when your liver shuts down, you don't live through that. You don't have a backup liver. God, I hate them out of cheese. I don't ever eat eggs without cheese, so now I got to cover it and everything else. But her liver is going into failure, which means that nothing can get the toxins out of her blood. She has a big mass on her liver, which is covered in cirrhosis. And also, she has a big lump on the back of her neck. Probably a cyst, not sure. I don't look at her. I don't want to be in the same world as she is. She is so dead to me. That woman destroyed the best years of my life. I spent $300,000 fighting for custody of my children to keep them safe from her. $300,000. And because of her assisting the feds in destroying me, in stalking me, in stealing my children, and forcing my life gone. But this is the United States government. They want you to turn in your neighbor and your families. I watched a video on one of these cop body cam videos the other day. And a kid goes in his mama's room, looks underneath, and it's almost contrived because the kid was talking to the dad at the same time while this was going on. But the kid supposedly found 8 pounds of methamphetamines and called the law while mom was in the shower. And then has the mom arrested for 8 pounds of meth. A kid. Because law enforcement teaches teachers to rat their parents out. Teachers are asking kids, what kind of guns your mom and dad got? Do your mom and dad do drugs? Do your mom and dad do this? Do they have American flags? Are they patriotic? Teachers are indoctrinating children to snitch out their parents, like what happens in communism. Which is terrifying. Give me a second, I gotta get my cup. Where my cup is. So, it's dangerous. It's dangerous times. So, now, because she has all these diagnoses of a destroyed liver, now no rehab facility will accept her because they don't want the liability of her being in their care and killing over, dying, as it were. So now where she could have gotten help if she would have just stayed in the jail, like I said, stay in the jail, now she's stuck. And while being stuck, now she's got felony charges. And here's the deal. The sheriff's office wants her to be a snitch. Why did she get busted before where she was being a rabbit for the feds to go after me? What brought her in? Because the feds just don't walk up and say, hey, come work for us. I want you to bust your ex-husband. No, they need leverage over you first. But the story is from her on her bust is she called the dope dealer, who's not a dope dealer, who's just another. She kept trying to say, oh, we're addicts. That's just an excuse for somebody that gets busted. We're just addicts. No. If you have drugs and you're selling to somebody, you're selling drugs. Well, I'm doing it because I need drugs because I'm an addict. Well, oh, so what? Sorry. I got busted. I took 2 felonies for selling, delivering, manufacturing marijuana because somebody else got set up and the cops brought the pot to my house and then I took the pot back to them. Yeah, that's how crooked America is. The cops create more crime than there is to start with. So, The story is the cops, the sheriff, saw her leaving the dope house, pulls her over, calls the canine in. The canine searches the car and finds this baggie with sugar. So she's still, and when I was on the phone with her talking, I was like, if you lie to me one time, I won't help. You lied to me one time, and she just kept lying. So all I could do is to try to help my daughter, because I care about my daughter. I don't, if my ex-wife expired right now, it would be, unfortunately, it would be a blessing to my children and to me, because she is literally no earthly good. She is absolutely worthless. But my children, that's their mother. So I can't help it. So cirrhosis of the liver is terrible. Your liver can grow back, and it can revitalize. But she's been a walking corpse since I booted her ass out of the house. Well, I'm not gonna deal. I'm not no. And now my children are trying to blame. They want to blame themselves for the position their mom's in. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not your fault that your mom's a drug addict. I never should have gotten with her. I never should have got with her in the first place. Ever. She destroyed my freaking life. I was a good, honest, hardworking, romantic man who just wanted somebody to love. And she took that and ripped me to pieces and totally screwed me up for life, because now I am untrusting. And now I have panic attacks and just the issues. That woman cost me just $300,000 fighting for my children trying to get them back from social services for something that I had no control over. So she did everything in her power to kill me, but I outlasted her. It's a sad world. Anyway, that's my story of woe. I love you guys. God bless. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll probably come on later. It is a cold, looks like wet, nasty day in North Carolina. I'm going to enjoy my burrito, my breakfast burrito, and my chocolate milk. God bless.